is, to get one gynecologist. Before you see one gynecologist, you can see 15 medical doctors. Before you get gynecologists, you people are so scarce. Welcome to the program, man.
Thank you.
So good to have you. And Mr. Duka, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, our gynecologist, I want you to do a proper introduction of yourself.
I am Dr. Ayeni Motayo. I'm a gynecologist and the head of obstetrics and gynecology at Iwosan Lagoon Hospitals. We will look after you.
Correct. You have the head and yes. I have 1001 questions to ask you now because I've been looking for one. Mr. Nduka,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing a gynecologist this morning.
Thank you.
All right, can you do a proper introduction of yourself and the Lions Club, sir?
Thank you. My name is Charles Nduka. I'm the president of Lagos Synergy Lions Club. Lagos Synergy is a member of, is a part of the Lions International. Lions International is the biggest service organization in the world. We are non-political, we are non-religious. But what we just do, all over the world is to provide charitable causes in different areas like from diabetes to childhood cancer to what have you, in all these areas and all that. So we support, in our own little way, in our different clubs in different areas, all these club causes to, to better our society. So that's basically what we do. And we hope that people can join us after this program.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
If I do want to welcome them to the show.
Yeah, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you,
Thank you.
gynecologist. I remember when I had a baby. What she said is really true. That was the only gynecologist in the whole hospital. So we had to wait. We had to wait for him.
All right, welcome to the show. It's International Women's Day, and I don't know why Lagos Synergy Lions Club are doing this. Can you quickly let us talk about that before we now go into the real deal of the day, which is cervical cancer? That is what we're looking at this morning. But before we go into that, let's quickly hear from you.
Me?
You,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Well,
You
like I
brought
said,
this initiative.
yeah, we did.
So you should have something to say about the International Women's Day and why you were doing this.
Well, like I said, what we do at Lions Club generally
Okay.
is to look for different causes, global causes and charitable causes that we can support and all that. For today is International Women's Day, and it's a very good time to talk about cervical cancer, which is one of the diseases also that scourge women these days and all that. And of course, we found a very good partner in the Iwosan Lagoon Hospital. We use them we have different initiatives we have used them for and all that, and this was just one of it. To talk about cervical cancer, to educate the public out there, and of course for women to know how to take care of themselves. So that's basically why we're here.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate Lions for this great initiative.
Thank you.
Because I know Lions Club to be doing a lot of good things out there. Even during the festive period, they light up our streets. They do a lot of social responsibility. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, now to our doctor in the house. We're looking at cervical cancer today. I know many people have been hearing about cervical cancer, but I'd like us to start with the definition of cervical cancer. What is cervical cancer?
So to understand cervical cancer, you have to know what the cervix is actually. So the cervix is the mouth of the womb. That's the mouth of the uterus. The womb is the uterus. You have the fallopian tubes, you have the ovaries, and the mouth. That's what opens up when a woman wants to deliver. So that is the cervix. So when you have abnormal growth that can spread to other organs and cause damage and ultimately lead to death, we call it cervical cancer. So that is cervical cancer. And why are we discussing it? It's because globally it's the fourth commonest female cancer worldwide. But in sub-Saharan Africa is the commonest female gynecological cancer. So if you have 100,000 women, 34 of them will have cervical cancer. And out of that 34, 25% of 25 of them will die at the end of the year because they come in advanced cases. So that is why it is a global burden. It's the commonest female gynecological worldwide for us in sub-Saharan Africa, and that is why we're talking about it. And why is it very important for us to educate the populace about it? Because in the prevention of cervical cancer, behavioral modification is very, very important to the key. Why? Because the organism that has been implicated in causing cervical cancer, which is the human papilloma virus. In more than 90% of cases that has been implicated, is gotten.
I'm sorry, my student. Is that in the shape of the human papilloma? Please, those medical terms. No.
So human papilloma virus
Okay.
is a virus. Is an organism that cannot be seen with the naked eyes.
Wow.
So it has been found that infection from human papilloma virus causes changes in the cervix, converting it from a normal structure to an abnormal structure that makes it to be prone to abnormal growth that will not be cancerous. And the risk of acquiring it in one sexual exposure, it depends on the prevalence of that human papilloma virus in the community. In Nigeria, they have seen some communities is 10%, in some communities as high as 46%. That means just one sexual exposure by a woman will lead to her having human papilloma virus. Some people are able to clear it from their system.
Even with the protection of condom? With condoms protection?
No, condom is protective.
It's protective.
It's protective. But we cannot say we want to populate and
yeah.
or you are married
Yeah.
and you want to be using
Using
condom.
condom.
Or automatically
fact.
affects the marriage. And we are not going to affect marriages. We want to harmonize marriages. So that is why there is prevention for it. So to acquire that human papilloma virus, the risk is about 10 to 46%. You can see how big it is. Just one sexual exposure. Some people are able to clear it from their system, some people are not able to. So it causes changes that predispose it to cancerous change. But it's a preventable thing. And that is why we are discussing it today. Because one of the preventive modalities is education, health education, making the populace to be aware of the risk factors and what causes it, leading to behavioral modification. Then there's a screening test and there's treatment for it. So that people will be happy.
It can be treated at
It
any
can be
stage.
treated at any stage. It can even be detected
At any
at
stage.
any stage before the real cancerous change can start. That's the beauty of it.
But what are the signs? Do we have signs?
By the time cervical cancer is giving you signs, it's already advanced.
Oh.
So that means there's already a growth there.
Oh.
And
So
that is why the
fast.
screening and vaccination
Oh.
is very,
There's
very
vaccination
important.
for it.
There's vaccination for it. Lagos State government has done a fantastic job. You know, immunizing the young people in secondary schools. The current First Lady, she has done beautiful work in Lagos State, making it free. In fact, they go as far as churches, immunizing these our young girls.
So the vaccination for what ages? Every age can take this?
The vaccination for girls starts from the age of 9
9
to
to
13 years.
Oh, so
9
people
to
like 40 can
13
be vaccinated?
No, you can be vaccinated so far as you have done the screening,
The screening.
and you are negative.
Negative.
Then you can go for the vaccination.
Okay. I actually thought, pardon my ignorance, apart from the HPV that used to be the main factor for cervical cancer, I was thinking that another factor was hereditary.
Oh, so for hereditary, that would be for women whose mothers were exposed to a drug that we call diethylstilbestrol when they were pregnant for them. Diethylstilbestrol is a drug that was used in the olden days to stop vomiting in pregnancy because that was very bad. But they now discovered that that particular drug causes a myriad of so many problems. One of it is that it causes changes in the cervix of a woman that predisposes her to cancerous changes, not the HPV. So because you have the HPV is implicated in over 90% of cases, but there are some that is not related to HPV. So you also have women who have used combined oral combined contraceptives for more than 10 years. They are said to be at risk. But it has been found that because when you use these combined pills, it puts the woman in a false pregnancy state. And the cervix is what we call the ectocervix, that's the inside and the outside. So the one that is inside comes outside when you use the drug for a very long time and allow this human papilloma virus again to work on it and cause changes. So it's still interrelated for those ones. There are people who have HIV because naturally their immunity is low. They also are at risk of having human papilloma virus and infection. People who have multiple sexual partners also at risk because of different strains. And although we say, oh, it's the high risk type of the human papilloma virus, we have different strains, different types of it that causes the cancer. But even the one that causes ordinary viral warts, which is the 6 and 11, it has been found that it can cause a particular form of cancer, cause the verrucous cancer. So if any form, that's why we are talking about behavioral modification, but we won't say people should not have partners. We know that abstinence is impossible when you are married or when you are an adult, and that's when there is screening modality to check for the precancerous stage of cervical cancer, which is called the pap smear. So pap smear. So pap smear. And now technology has advanced and you can actually detect the HPV virus too.
With the pap smear?
Yeah. So you do the HPV virus cytology to check if there's HPV infection. Then you also check if there are changes during the pap smear. So those are the two things that we do now. So it has increased detection, it has reduced, in the advanced countries, it has reduced the prevalence and incidence of newly diagnosed or existing cases of cervical cancer, coupled with the vaccination.
I have just a quick question I want to ask again. Those with family planning, how safe are they? Are they safe?
So that's what I said, the combined pills. If
Family
you use it,
planning?
yes, that's the family plan. If you use it for more than 10 years,
Okay.
because it causes a state of like false pregnancy and makes the ectocervix to come outside. So if the man comes into contact with HPV virus, it works on that one and transforms it to become the cancerous type. And people have had too many pregnancies. So they are the ones that are at risk too. So the other forms of family planning does not dispose a woman to cervical cancer except the combined pills. And that woman must have used it for more than 10 years.
When you say the combined pills, what do you mean by the
The combined pills are the daily pills.
Oh, daily
You
pills.
take those ones that are in a card that you follow a rule that's like 30 days.
And those family planners that use the cord like the rope?
No, those ones are not associated. All with cervical cancer. In fact, the one that is hormonal, that the IUD that is hormonal called Mirena, it is even protective because it generates some cervical mucus because it prevents ovulation from occurring. It causes some forms of protection that prevents ascending infection into the uterus and the cervix. So those ones are not implicated in the cause of cervical cancer.
Okay, so you have a question?
Yeah, you are talking about drugs. I want to know if there are herbs that actually contribute to cervical cancer.
In our own knowledge, we have not identified any herb
Okay.
that is implicated in cervical cancer. So most of the time, by the time you use herbs that are by China, what they call it, causes what we call gynotrichia. The ones that are going to cause a problem. They cause inflammation, that's redness, and that trauma to the place that the genitals now close together. So they won't really cause cervical cancer. What has really been implicated is the human papilloma virus and the use of the diet is the best to do, and HIV, multiple sexual partners, people who have sexual exposure, early sexual exposure, people who have sexual exposure before the age of 16, they are at risk too. So those are the risks for people who smoke because it reduces the immunity. Those are the people that we found to have increased risk of cervical cancer, and it's still linked to acquisition of the human papilloma virus.
Alright, for those who are just joining the program, we have a gynecologist in the house and we've been talking about cervical cancer. And this message, they bring the Lions Club, the Lagos Teenager Lions Club, brings this good news to all the women in Nigeria, all over the world today, that cervical cancer is a silent killer. Is that it, ma'am? That's the right word.
Yes.
Is a silent killer, and it doesn't show signs. When it starts showing signs, that means it's a blown one. So what do you advise women to do from age what to age what, please, ma'am?
So the prevention of cervical cancer is in the hands of everyone. We have the primary prevention, secondary, and the tertiary prevention. The primary prevention is immunization. Please immunize your female children. 9 to 13 years.
Is it expensive now?
It is, in fact,
It's
for
free?
Lagos State, it's free.
In all hospitals, private
It's
hospitals?
Lagos State, no, in private hospitals, you will have to pay, but it's, the cost of the vaccination is cheaper than the long-term complication.
Okay, 9 to 13.
9 to 13. In
So
fact, the
16
males
a
too
16-year-old girl cannot be vaccinated?
She can.
She
really,
can,
But
okay.
we just try to, we want to catch them
Early,
before
okay.
any
Nice,
sexual
okay.
debut,
Okay.
so that they are protected before they even start their sexual escapades.
Okay, okay.
So that is vaccination. Then the other thing is behavioral modification. We know, we have said that having too many children is a risk factor. We have said having too many sexual partners is a risk factor. So that is it for the primary prevention. Then the second prevention is the screening. Screening is aimed at the early detection, because before it becomes a full problem, and that's the Pap smear and the HPV cytology is available in all hospitals. Please offer yourself. It's advised that it started at the age of 21 years. Once you are 21, in fact, some countries is linked to you acquiring a driver's license. So once you do it, you cannot have a driver's license. No, you go for it just to reduce the incidence of early death in this community. So you go for your Pap smear and HPV cytology, and it is repeated depending on the one you do. If you do the HPV cytology and Pap smear combined, it's every 5 years. If you do the ordinary Pap smear, it's 2 to 3 years. You know, because the HPV cytology may be expensive for some people, but it's not compulsory. You just need to do the Pap smear all the time. No, so go for screening so that it can be detected early, and there are treatment for it. Then the tertiary is that the cancer has already gone, but there are treatments. There are doctors who knows how to treat it. There are hospitals with the right equipment that can treat it. We have cancer centers in this country. We have in Lut, we have in other states, we have private cancer centers. I've seen patients who have survived cervical cancer for 13 years. I have such a patient, you know. So it can be treated. It's not something that can be given up on. So we want people to be aware of it. That is number one female gynecological killer, apart from childbirth, so that they can be able to live longer than as they desire to be able to see their children's children, to be able to enjoy their life in retirement, not that you retire and you now be suffering from a cancer. So that is the reason why we are here today, to pass the message across that there is something called cervical cancer. These are the risk factors for you.
It can be prevented.
It can be prevented. And
It
even
can
if
be
that's
treated.
occurred, it can be treated.
But early detection is key.
Is key.
Early detection.
Paramount.
What's the duration between when the virus, enters the body to when it's full blown?
Okay, so it depends on the stages that which is caught. So some say 7 to 15 years, depending. So because if that you are detecting the HPV virus now, does not mean that the woman will have cancer. Because the body, for people who have good immunity, they are able to clear it off their system. So, but people who have defective immunity, or people who have it recurrently, that's why we are talking about high-risk partners. And we are saying that, you get this strain from this person today, you get another strain, so it affects the cervix and compromises the immunity. And that is when there can be changes that we call immortalization. It changes the cells to make it to be predisposed to cancerous changes. So when you go for Pap smear, it's that they say, there is CIN1, that is cervical intraepithelial neoplasia stage 1.
The names go as scary. The names itself. How can they tell you have that and you will not faint?
That's what
names are long
people are so scared to
scary.
go to hospitals because they'll be like you. They'll see
We
what
have this fear in us going to the hospital.
they'll see when they'll see what is not
it's
there.
just that those are the names that they are called. That's because they call us by our own names too. But we don't have to break it down. So the neoplasia means cancerous change.
Okay.
Cervical means cervix. Intraepithelial means it is already inside the cells. So cervical intraepithelial neoplasia, cervical changes that has occurred inside the cells of the cervix that can lead to cancer. That is the meaning of that.
Wow.
But to those who have it already, what are the signs? Are there
For the
signs?
people who have it already, some of them bleeding during sex. You know, we call it postcoital bleeding. Because of the growth, the mass will be bleeding.
What about pains during sex? A colleague once asked me just last few days there that the wife, whenever they make fun, she's always crying, like always having pains, like
that one
serious
is what we
pains.
call it dyspareunia. It's not, cervical cancer will not really cause dyspareunia. By the time the cervical cancer starts causing pain, it has advanced, it has infiltrated the surrounding organs. So, but the main thing that it comes is bleeding during sex or unexplained bleeding. Especially for our mothers that are in menopause, they'll just be bleeding, unexplained bleeding. You know, I just diagnosed for one of my friend's mothers two weeks ago. You know, just be 85 years, just bleeding. There was a mass in the cervix. You know, cervical cancer.
Even at the age of 85?
Even at the age of 85. So that is the teaching. That's why they said you must continue to screen until you are 65 years. And
So do you screen yearly? Is it a yearly screening?
no, depending on the one you do. If you do ordinary pap smear, 2 to 3 years. But if you combine it with the HPV cytology, every 5 years. But you must be doing it until you are 65 years old. The only reason why you will stop at 65 is if you have never had any abnormal result. Once you have had at least one abnormal result, the screening is for life. The screening is for life.
So you reason-
Because there can still be changes.
reason-
The only reason why you can stop at the age of 65 and say, oh, I'm no longer screening, is because you've never had an abnormal result.
But even with the young children that going for vaccination, do
They
they
still need to screen, yes.
Oh, even with the vaccination, they still need
Even
to
with
screen.
the vaccination, because although they are vaccinated, but they still need to screen because there can be, you know, the vaccine is some strains. It's not every strains. We believe that by the time we vaccinate against 16 and 18, which are the commonest high risk, they will cause a trans immunity to protect against the other risk, other high risk types. But the other high risk types, the vaccine for them are not present yet. And some studies have even said that vaccination that the child is given lasts for only 13 years. So there may be a need for a booster, but that one has not been you know, it is still under study. So there's still need for screening despite vaccination. So that child that is immunized, once that child is 21 years old, the child starts screening, or once the child becomes sexually active, the child starts screening. It's very important.
Thank you very much. I'm telling you, within this short period, I've been able to learn a lot, and I'm sure that the viewers at home too have been able to learn a lot with this. Our package for all women out there as we celebrate the International Women's Day. And I'm going back to Lagos Synergy Lions Club. You said you're expecting people to join you after this program. So
Yeah.
how do we join you? Because this is a good work.
Thank you very much. Like I said, we're inviting the entire public. Lions Club is, I mean, both male, female, and even the young ones. We have a Leos Club for those who are younger, probably 21 and below and all that. But we are on social media. We are Lagos Synergy Lions Club. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. Once you get across to us, our details are there and all that. We'll be able to get across to us. And once you send us a message, we'll get across to you. If you want to join us, like I said, it's a service organization. So all we do is with our own little resources, and of course with good corporate organizations like the Iwosan Lagoon and all that, we have some other people we partner with. We can bring things like this to bear, and of course, you know, and of course, incidentally, after this program, we're also going to a secondary school in Agege to do Paddy Gale. So we're sharing
Sanitary pads.
sanitary pads to secondary school girls.
Okay, so
today as well.
I have a secondary school children. Are you going to give me that?
We are doing it at the school. So we do go to different schools and all that. So there are several, it's a way to, give back to the society and all that.
Yeah,
so we
that's
invite
no
the entire
lion
public.
for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And so our gynecologists, thank you, and for helping us to break down those big picture.
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate you. All right, today is International Women's Day, and this is our package for the International Women's Day. It's still the Bumper Breakfast Show, and as they have something again for you in the studio. It's a special package this Friday. Don't touch that dial. We will be